Ladies, let's talk. There are 5 very distinct signs that a man truly loves you or is falling in love with you. And these are signs that most women overlook. Most of us are out there in the dating world getting advice from each other in, friend circles or online or on Reddit or here on YouTube, and there's a lot of bad advice. There's a lot of mixed signals. People keep talking about the love languages. I'm going to give you 5 very distinct, very easy to tell signs that you can see on a pretty much regular basis, daily basis, if you're dating someone to see, are they in love? Are they falling in love with me? Specifically with men. Okay. And I want you to listen to all 5 because sometimes you won't see 2 or 3 or even 4, but there's one. And even one of these is enough to say, hey, something's building here. So it's important that you get a grasp of every single one. If you're new to the channel, my name's Dr. Jon Dabach. I've been doing couples counseling and relationship coaching for over 13 years. My wife, Michelle, is a psychologist. She kind of fills in the feminine perspective sometimes when I'm a little off. I can't do anything without her. And I welcome you to the channel. So let's dive right in. Number 1, and this is big, there's an emotional consistency. There's no hot and cold behavior. There's just steady effort. A lot of women make excuses for the men they're dating, especially once they get to their 30s and 40s and they feel either a biological clock or they're, post-divorce and they want to start a new relationship and they know how busy their own life can be. And so they try to be more accommodating. Right? When you're 18 and the world's your oyster, you might have a laundry list of things that's, 6 miles long that you won't even consider dating if they don't check off every box. But as you get older, you realize that there's no such thing as perfect. And so you start getting more accommodating. And I like that. I like people who are more accommodating. However, you shouldn't make excuses for a man. If he's emotionally inconsistent, he's hot one day, cold the next, there's some effort, some love bombing, and then breadcrumbing that happens, and he just disappears and ghosts, and he says, oh, I got busy. That is not love. That is someone who's keeping you as an option. Don't get sucked into that trap. Have better standards for yourself. Don't accept it. Just say, it seems like you're not interested. Maybe we shouldn't see each other anymore. I've had fun, but time to move on. And if he starts running back, just say, great, listen, if you want to try again, great. But if you're going to drop the ball again, I'm out. Right. And if you've already done that rigmarole with him a couple times, don't give him another shot. Just cut it and move on. That's why you date before you marry, to kind of test people out in their consistency. This is the number one thing, you guys. If you don't have the sense of boundary and the sense of self-worth to be able to say he's not consistently putting in effort and I need to move on, then you need to look in the mirror and ask, why am I treating myself so poorly? And I'm asking you, you beautiful woman who really wants a loving and caring relationship, why are you putting up with this garbage? You're better than this. You are better than this. You deserve more. Okay? Number 2, he actively listens. Now, this means 2 things to me. Number 1, he remembers details. When you talk, he values your thoughts. He listens. He brings things back up. If you mention a story about your mom and how one time you bought her this cheetah print dress, and she, matched it to a cheetah print purse, and she also had cheetah print shoes, but they were all slightly off, and she looked like a character from Tiger King. And everybody made fun of her, and now she doesn't wear leopard print or cheetah print anything, right? If he brings that back up another time, like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we bought your mom like a cheetah print phone case for Mother's Day or what? I mean, that's someone who was listening and who was engaged and wants to make inside jokes and wants to connect on a deep level. That is part of active listening. The other part of active listening is when you have a conversation with him, does it feel like he's really listening, or does it feel like he's waiting for his turn to talk? We all have friends like this. Don't pretend you don't have a friend like this, where basically you get together over coffee or dinner or lunch or whatever, and you talk and they're just sitting there quiet, waiting for their turn to also talk. We've all had friendships like this. Most of them don't last very long, right? And it's just like a you talk, I talk turn festival, and it's not really an intimate, beneficial conversation for anybody other than just a venting thing. That's not what relationships are about. Relationships are, I listen to you, I ask questions. further clarifying things. I'm engaged. And when there's a lull in the conversation, I don't jump in with my own opinion. I take a second, let the breath out of the conversation, make sure there's nothing more to say. And then when I change the subject, it's with grace because I don't want you to think I'm rushing to talk as well. Some of that on a first date can be nervousness. Men get, especially if you're beautiful. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you're putting effort, you're going to look your best self on a first date, as should a man, by the way. But, you know, if it's a first date thing and he's jittery and he wants to tell you all the great things about him because he wants to prove his worth to you, maybe there's some room for flattery. But if it happens again and again and again where he just cuts you off and forget it. That's not active listening. That's someone who's making it about them. There's some narcissistic tendencies that might be showing their heads early there, and you have to watch out for that. Number 3, and this is big, and most women miss this, so I want you to pay attention. He supports your growth. He encourages your dreams, not just his own. He likes it when you're ambitious. He encourages your friendship growth and your network. He wants you to have good relationships with your family. He wants you to further your education. He wants you to grow because it's exciting to you, and that's healthy for people. Now, if you're the kind of person who's traveling all around the world because you're so busy and you're some, boss lady, I don't want to say the B word, but you're some boss lady who goes around and jet sets and you're in charge of something and he feels a little bit alienated, like you don't have time for him. Yeah, there's room for a difference of opinion here on this one. But if you have a normal job where you're not in demand that much and you say, I think I can bite off a little bit more, and he has a reaction of like, oh, well, then you'll have no time for me. That is an incredibly insecure man. You want someone who can support you because he knows you will make time for me. I know you will because I will make time for you. And that's what being in a relationship is. Don't let any man, don't let any person, but especially don't let any man squish your dreams. That's not okay. That's for your kids to do. Once you have kids, they will stomp all over your dreams. Trust me, my wife and I have 4. They crap all over your dreams. That's what kids do. and sometimes you climb through the mess and sometimes you don't. But it's not for your spouse. It's not for your partner. It's not for the person that you're trying to date. Number 4, he handles disagreements with care, with compassion. So is he the kind of person that likes to solve issues? Or is he the kind of person who likes to avoid them and sweep them under the rug and hope you forget about them? That's not a winner. Now, there's room here. It's a gray area. I don't want you to think of this as black and white. 70% of men who are not secure in their attachments are avoidant. I think that number, the last time they did a study about this was quite some time ago. I think that number is actually probably even higher. I think the number of people who are insecurely attached is much higher than the last time they did the study. Maybe there's more anxious men than there used to be, but there's a lot more people who are insecure in their attachment. And so if there's an avoidant tendency in a relationship, there's room for growth. It doesn't mean that it's a deal killer, but it's something you have to watch out for. Because if there's no processing when there's a problem in your relationship, you are going to be miserable. I can't tell you how many times people come to me, couples come to me for counseling sessions, and it's like, we've been together 15 years, we've been together 12 years, we've been together 20 years, and just after all this time, every time there's a problem, we just sleep it off or we don't talk for a couple days, and I just don't have energy anymore to deal with problems. It never gets resolved. That's avoidance. Compounded over time, exponentially. It leaves you with nothing. Your cup gets so full of garbage, there's no room for anything else. And number 5, this is perhaps the most important one. He protects your emotional well-being. He puts your happiness on his radar. He doesn't think of himself as responsible for it, but he's concerned about it. He's not just concerned about his own joy and his own happiness. He wants to make sure you're living your best life. It's not appropriate to be responsible for someone else's happiness. That's never appropriate. I want to make that distinction. If he says, I'm not happy and it's your fault, or you're not happy and it's my fault, that's an unhealthy mental way to approach it. But if he says, you seem unhappy and I'm concerned, that's brilliant, right? That's someone saying, I want you to be happy. Is there something I could do to help? If not, find someone who can help, because we don't have to go through this alone. If someone has that for you, guess what? They're falling in love with you because the people around you who you love, you want them to be happy. That's a natural part of love because when they're happy, guess what? Selfishly, it reflects back on you. When there's happiness, there's great sex, there's great dates, there's great emotional affection, there's great relationships with your family, there's a ability to host other people at your place. Everything falls into place. So there is an element of selfishness, but it's a healthy selfishness. It's not, I'm going to worry about me, you take care of you, and I'll just do whatever I need and manipulate you. That's unhealthy. It's, I want her to be happy because I want this relationship to work for both of us. What a beautiful way to be selfish, right? If you are here on this page and you're watching this, chances are you need more information like this. You want to understand how to tell if somebody's falling in love, how to tell if that man is really falling for you or is in love with you. And that's what I go over here. On this channel, I go over everything you need to know when you're in your 30s and 40s and trying to figure out this crazy mosaic of dating and falling in love and staying in love with men who are as aloof as can be sometimes. This is your channel, so consider subscribing. And if you want to understand why dating is so flippin' hard today in this modern era with apps and everything, I've made a video for you on that specific topic and why things have changed so drastically that you can watch by clicking on the thumbnail that popped up right now.